The colony was small, a simple home far from Earth. People lived quietly, farming, mining, raising children under 2 suns. They believed they were safe. The stars felt wide and empty, but peaceful. Among the colony's children was a little girl. She was only 8 years old. Her laughter was bright, and her footsteps echoed in the dust streets every morning. To her family, she was the heart of their home. To her friends, she was joy itself. She dreamed of one day visiting Earth, of seeing oceans and forests she had only read about in books. But dreams do not last forever. One evening, the sky broke. Strange ships appeared above the colony. They were not human. They were raiders from a distant alien empire, a species that saw humans as weak, as prey. To them, one colony was nothing but a target. The people of the colony tried to resist, but they had little defense. The aliens came fast, burning homes, stealing supplies, dragging people into chains. They laughed as humans screamed. To them, it was sport. And in the middle of that chaos, the little girl ran. Her parents shouted her name, trying to reach her. She was small, fragile, her heart pounding with fear. She tried to hide between the broken walls of her home, but she could not escape. One alien found her. To him, she was nothing. Just another human child, just another weak creature. And with a careless strike, with a moment of cruelty, he ended her life. Silence followed. Her parents fell to their knees, broken, their screams piercing the night. The other colonists watched in horror. One child gone forever. A light in their small world was extinguished. The raiders left soon after, leaving fire and death behind. To them, it was nothing important. They had killed, they had taken, and now they moved on. They never thought of the little girl again. But Earth remembered. News traveled across the stars from one ship to another until it reached humanity's homeworld. At first, people could not believe it. Just one child killed so brutally in a forgotten colony? The galaxy thought it was small. They thought Earth would not care, but they were wrong. For humanity, one child was not small. One child was everything. On Earth, the story spread like fire. People cried. People raged. Leaders stood together and spoke with one voice. For the first time in centuries, humanity was united. Not for power, not for conquest, but for justice, for vengeance. And the galaxy did not understand. To other species, death was common. Children were born and lost without a second thought. To them, life was cheap, replaceable. But humans were different. For humans, family was sacred. Every child was precious. Every life had value. So when the little girl died, all of Earth felt it. Millions of hearts carried her memory. Millions of voices swore the same oath. This will not be forgiven. And humanity began to prepare. Factories lit up. Old war machines were rebuilt. New warships were forged in the dark of space. Soldiers trained harder than ever before. Scientists worked day and night, pushing the limits of technology. Humanity did not sleep. Humanity did not rest. The galaxy thought humans were still weak, still slow, still far behind the great empires. But in their arrogance, they forgot the truth. Humans did not fight for resources. Humans did not fight for glory. They fought for something stronger. They fought for love. They fought for family. And nothing in the galaxy could match the fury of a species defending its own. The child's name was written into every oath. Her memory carried into every battle plan. Her face was painted on the walls of ships, on the flags of armies. She became the spark. The reason? The fire in their hearts. The aliens who killed her thought it was nothing. But to humanity it was everything. And in silence, Earth waited. In silence, humans sharpened their blades and fueled their ships. No one outside could hear their rage. No one outside could see their storm. But when it came, it would shake the stars. The galaxy would soon learn the truth. You could take a planet from humanity. You could burn their homes. You could break their armies. But you could never ever touch their children, for if you did, Earth would rise, humanity would rise, and the galaxy would pay the price. The galaxy thought the story would end with one child. To them it was a small event, a single death in a universe full of wars, disasters, and endless loss. Aliens moved on. Trade continued. Empires argued over borders and wealth, but humanity did not forget. Humanity could not forget. On Earth, the death of that child became a wound in every heart. People spoke her name in whispers, as if she was family to all of them. Parents looked at their own children and felt rage burn in their veins. Soldiers clenched their fists, their eyes sharp with fire. Scientists abandoned sleep, driven by a single thought: never again. It was not shouted in the streets. It was not displayed in speeches. This fury was quiet, silent, a rage hidden under calm faces, and that silence was more dangerous than any war cry. For the first time in history, Earth stood united. Nations that had once fought bitter wars now sat together at one table. Old enemies placed their hands side by side. They remembered the child, and in that memory they found something stronger than politics. Stronger than greed, they found purpose. Factories roared to life. Steel was forged into weapons not seen before. Ships rose from the docks, faster, stronger, sharper. Each design carried not just technology but fury. Every rivet, every bolt was a promise of vengeance. Engineers worked day and night. They spoke little, but their eyes burned with determination. Scientists pushed limits, creating tools the galaxy had never seen. New engines, new weapons, new shields. Human creativity, once divided by borders, now combined into one unstoppable force. Soldiers trained harder than ever before. They ran through storms. They fought in endless drills until their bodies broke, and then they rose again, stronger. When they lifted their weapons, they did not see metal. They saw the child's face. They swore they would never fail another family. The galaxy still laughed. Alien leaders looked down on humans. They whispered, "It was only one child. Why are they so restless?" To them, humans were still primitive, a young species barely stepping into the stars, weak, predictable, but they did not understand the truth. For humans, war was not about numbers. It was not about logic or statistics. For humans, war was personal. Every mother thought of her child. Every father remembered his family. And every soldier carried that memory into the fire. That was humanity's greatest weapon. Not technology, not numbers, not power. But love that turned into fury. Slowly, human fleets grew. They did not announce themselves. They did not send warnings. They simply prepared. Silent planets became fortresses. Empty moons turned into hidden bases. Space around Earth filled with shadows of ships waiting in the dark. And still, the galaxy slept. Alien empires fought each other, blind to the storm rising on Earth. Merchants traded, unaware that human fleets were gathering. Spies returned with reports that spoke only of whispers, of small changes. Nothing serious, nothing urgent. But beneath the surface, humanity's rage deepened. Children on Earth learned the story in schools. They spoke the name of the little girl as if she was their sister. She became more than one person. She became a symbol, the child who lit the fire, the child who woke humanity. Families placed her picture on their walls. Soldiers carried her name in their hearts. Leaders spoke in silence, making decisions not for glory but for her. This was no longer about war. This was about justice. And when the time came, humanity would not ask for mercy. Humanity would not ask for peace. Humanity would strike, and the galaxy would finally see what it had awakened. The hidden rage of Earth waited like a storm behind the clouds. Quiet, patient, growing stronger each day. The aliens thought they had won. They thought they had broken one small colony. They thought humans were weak. They were wrong. The death of one child had become the heartbeat of a species, a heartbeat that grew louder, stronger, unstoppable. And when that heartbeat echoed across the stars, the galaxy would tremble. The galaxy still slept. Alien empires argued over their borders, their trade, their petty wars. To them, humans were still nothing, just another species crawling through the stars. But Earth had finished waiting. The fleets were ready. Hidden bases were full. Soldiers stood with fire in their eyes. Every ship carried the same message carved into steel. For the child. For humanity. The first strike came without warning. An alien outpost near the edge of the galaxy went dark. No signals. No distress calls. When other ships arrived, they found only silence. The outpost was gone, burned to ash, floating in ruins. At first, alien commanders dismissed it. Pirates, they said. An accident. But soon another base vanished. Then another. Entire patrol fleets disappeared into the void. Whispers spread across the stars. A shadow moved in the darkness, swift and merciless. And behind that shadow was humanity. The humans did not announce their war. They did not boast. They did not send threats. Their ships struck like knives, fast and precise, then vanished into the void. Every attack carried the same cold message. Earth remembers. The aliens began to panic. They gathered fleets, thousands of ships, to block human attacks. But the humans were not reckless. They did not fight with rage alone. Their strikes were planned, perfect, like chess moves across the stars. One human ship could destroy 10 alien vessels before vanishing again. Their weapons were new, their tactics sharper than anything the galaxy had seen. Humans used everything: speed, surprise, cunning. But more than that, they used willpower. Every soldier fought as if the child was their own family. Every commander planned battles as if the future of Earth rested on each decision. There was no fear. There was no surrender. Only fury. And the galaxy began to realize the truth. This was not war. This was vengeance, alien captains whispered in fear. Whole crews deserted, refusing to face human fleets. Empires tried to cover their losses, but rumors spread faster than lies. Tales of human ships, silent and deadly, filled the stars. One alien witness survived an attack. His report shook the councils of the galaxy. They did not shout. They did not cheer. They killed us in silence, cold, precise, and before they left, they sent us one message: never touch our children again. The galaxy trembled. For the first time, the great empires began to fear humans. They had thought of Earth as young, weak, a small flame in the darkness. But now they saw the fire spreading. They saw the storm rising, and they could not stop it. Human fleets grew bolder. No longer hiding at the edge, they struck deeper, burning supply lines, destroying war factories, tearing down strongholds. With every victory, they carved the same words into the ruins. This is for the child. Alien leaders met in secret councils. Some demanded peace. Some demanded extermination. But none could agree. And while they argued, human fleets kept moving. The galaxy began to whisper a new name for humanity: the wrath of Earth. It spread from world to world, spoken in fear. Entire populations hid at the sight of human ships. Children of alien species woke screaming at the thought of humans arriving. But for humans, this was only the beginning. The first strike had proven something powerful. Humanity could fight against empires greater and older than them, and win. And once they had tasted victory, they did not stop. They remembered the child. Every time a battle ended, every time the stars lit with fire, humans whispered her name. Her memory was the fuel, the reason, the spark that carried them forward. The galaxy now understood one terrible truth: you could conquer a world. You could enslave a people. You could break armies and burn cities, but you could never ever touch a human child. For if you did, humanity would rise as one. They would not stop. They would not rest. And they would turn the stars themselves into a weapon of vengeance. The first strike was only the start. The galaxy had awakened the wrath of Earth, and the war was just beginning. The first strikes had ended. Alien outposts lay in ruins. Patrol fleets were gone, turned into silent wrecks drifting in the dark. Human ships had struck with speed, with precision, with fury, and now the galaxy was afraid. At first, alien leaders tried to deny the truth. They told their people it is nothing, just pirates, just small losses. But rumors are faster than lies. Survivors whispered what they had seen. Soldiers spoke in secret of battles they could not win. Merchants told stories of human ships that appeared out of nowhere, then vanished into the void. Fear spread. Whole planets turned silent when human fleets were mentioned. Children of other species asked their parents at night, "Are the humans coming here?" Councils were called. Leaders from dozens of empires gathered in vast halls of steel and crystal. Their voices echoed with panic. "They were weak yesterday," one shouted. "They were nothing but a young race," cried another. "Then explain," a trembling commander asked. "Why do our fleets burn in silence? Why do our colonies vanish?" No one had an answer. To the galaxy, humans had been predictable. They fought small wars, yes, but nothing the great empires feared. They were new to space, barely learning the roads between stars. But now they were something else. They were shadows in the dark. They were knives in the night. They were vengeance itself, and the galaxy could not understand why. For them, war was about resources. War was about power, about expanding borders and gaining wealth. But humans fought for something different. They fought for family. Alien leaders mocked this at first. So much rage for just one child? They asked. But even as they laughed, their voices shook. Because deep inside they knew the truth. No other species would have done this. No other people would have risen together, united in grief, and turned that grief into fire. It was not logic. It was not strategy. It was something deeper, something terrifying. Empires tried to respond. Fleets were built. Defenses raised. Traps prepared. But none of it was enough. Humans did not fight like the galaxy. They were clever, unpredictable. They struck where no one expected, then vanished again. One empire lost 20 ships in a single night. Another lost a mining world. Its surface shattered into ash. Every attack carried the same mark. This is for the child. Fear became despair. Some empires tried to reach out. They sent envoys offering gold, technology, promises of peace. But humanity rejected them all. Their answer was silence and then another strike. Others tried threats. Entire fleets gathered near human space, sending messages of war. But when their fleets entered the void, they never returned. And slowly the galaxy began to understand. This was not a war they could win. This was not a fight for land or power. This was vengeance, carried by a species that would not stop until justice was done. Even the most powerful empires trembled. Worlds that once saw humans as weak now feared their anger. Leaders whispered to each other, "What if they come for us next? What if our children are not safe?" The fear spread deeper than weapons could reach. Armies grew restless. Civilians panicked. Trade collapsed on worlds where the rumor of a human fleet appeared. The galaxy was breaking, not because humans had conquered it, but because humans had terrified it. And still, Earth remembered the child. Her face was painted on ships. Her name was whispered before battles. Every victory was offered to her memory. She had become more than a girl. She had become a legend. The galaxy had killed one child, and in return it had awakened the wrath of billions. Alien historians would later write of this time with trembling hands. They would call it the Age of Fear. Not because humanity destroyed the galaxy, but because the galaxy destroyed itself in panic, unable to face the storm that Earth had become. And yet, the humans were not finished. The fear across the stars was only the beginning. For soon humanity would move from strikes in the dark to war in the open, and when that day came, the galaxy would see what true vengeance looked like. The galaxy was on edge. Entire empires had felt the hidden rage of humanity. They whispered about it in secret halls. They fortified worlds. They gathered fleets. But they were too late. Humanity had already grown beyond expectation. Earth did not wait. For months humans had struck from the shadows, destroying alien outposts, burning fleets, and leaving a trail of fear. But now the hidden strikes became open war. Human fleets advanced boldly, not hiding in the void. Ships moved in formation, precise and deadly, their weapons ready. Every strike was planned, every attack calculated. The aliens panicked. They had called for peace, for negotiations, for mercy. Humanity refused all. The reasoning was simple. You took one of ours. We will not forgive. We will not forget. Every admiral who faced the humans felt the same truth. Logic could not defeat them. Numbers could not stop them. Tactics could not outsmart them. Humans fought for something no weapon could destroy. Love turned into fury. The first open battle was brutal. Thousands of alien ships surrounded a human fleet, confident they would crush the enemy in minutes. But the humans moved like shadows. They split, they feinted, they struck where no one expected. One ship destroyed 10 enemy vessels with a single attack. Another fleet cut off supplies, leaving an entire alien armada trapped in space. Alien commanders could not comprehend it. "How do they fight like this?" one whispered. "They are too fast, too clever, too ruthless." Every victory carried the same message. This is for the child, and soon the turning point became clear. The galaxy realized something terrifying. Humanity was not just defending itself. Humanity was shaping the future of the stars. Empires that had once ignored Earth now sent their strongest fleets. Armadas lined up, thousands of ships ready to crush humans. But each time they failed. Humans adapted instantly. They learned faster. They fought smarter. They never retreated, never surrendered. The galaxy had underestimated them, and now it was paying the price. Entire alien worlds surrendered without a fight. Entire civilizations bowed in fear, not because humanity conquered them, but because they knew what would happen if they resisted. The legend of Earth grew with every battle. Humans did not take worlds for themselves. They did not plunder, they did not enslave. They left nothing but one message carved into the ruins: never harm our children again. Across the stars the story spread. Humans fought with fury, intelligence, and honor. They were relentless, unstoppable, and terrifying. The galaxy had finally learned the truth. You could not break humanity, you could not scare humanity. You could not fight them like any other species. Every empire realized the same terrible fact. Humans were different. Humans were strong, cunning, brave, and fiercely loyal to their own. One child's death had lit a fire that could never be extinguished. One loss had united a species. One memory had made humanity unstoppable. And now the galaxy faced a new reality. The humans did not fight for conquest. They did not fight for power. They fought for family, for justice, for honor. And for those they loved, they would burn the stars themselves. The turning point was clear. The galaxy had been warned. Every species understood it now. Earth would not be trifled with. Humans had risen from weakness to supremacy, and the galaxy would never ever forget it. The child's name was whispered across countless worlds, her memory a shield, a sword, a warning. Humanity had proven that the strongest weapon in the universe was not technology, nor numbers, nor armies. It was love, turned into unyielding, unstoppable fury, and the galaxy trembled before it. The galaxy had changed forever. Alien empires had surrendered. Their fleets shattered, their outposts burned, their pride destroyed. Entire civilizations bowed, not to Earth, not to its leaders, but to the unstoppable force humanity had become. And yet, humanity did not take. They did not claim planets. They did not enslave, plunder, or rule. They left the ashes behind, carrying only one message: never harm our children again. The galaxy remembered. In council halls, alien leaders whispered in fear and respect. Merchants told stories of Earth's wrath to travelers across the stars. Children grew up learning the name of the little girl whose death had lit the fire, a symbol of what humans were capable of when pushed beyond limits. For humanity, the war was over, but the memory of the child remained alive in every heart, every home, every ship. She was not forgotten. She had become a legend, the spark that had united a species and changed the course of the stars. Humans returned to Earth quietly, cities repaired, ships refueled, soldiers walked among families, no longer in battle suits but in simple clothes, carrying the same fire in their hearts. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Humanity had grown stronger, smarter, braver, and more united than ever, and the truth spread. Humans did not fight for conquest. They fought for family. They fought for justice. They fought for love. Every alien species that had once mocked humans learned the same lesson. Never underestimate them. Never take one of their own. Never push humanity to the edge. The galaxy had paid the price for one child's death. But humanity had proven something greater. They had proven that even a young species could rise. They had proven that unity and courage could overcome even the most powerful empires. They had proven that love, when strong enough, could become the greatest weapon of all. In quiet moments, humans would speak her name. Children of Earth would ask about her story. And every time, parents would tell them, one life can ignite the strength of billions. Never forget that. Legends of Earth spread to distant stars. Humans became a symbol not of war, but of an unbreakable spirit. A species that would defend what mattered most, no matter the cost. And across the galaxy, one truth became eternal. Humanity does not fight for gold, does not fight for power, does not fight for glory. Humanity fights for family, and for family they will burn the galaxy. The child's death had been tragic, but from that sorrow had come the greatest force the galaxy had ever known. Humanity had risen, united, and proven that weakness was only a mask for strength. That even the smallest life could ignite a fire that would change the stars forever. And as Earth looked up at the stars, the people knew one thing. They would protect each other. They would never back down. And the galaxy, vast and endless, would always remember the price it had paid. The legacy of one child had become the story of a species. The galaxy would never forget.